speaking of single moms and babies, cause Kenya swear that there's no spitefulness out here, no craziness out here. Ayesha Howard taking Anthony Edwards back to jail. I mean, not back to court. If she had her way, that nigga would be in jail. I would assume. But,
you don't know that.
yeah, I seen did I put in the jumbo? She is taking him back to court.
I don't see it.
And she is citing, fraud. And she wants more money. If you don't know, they had a baby. He said, fuck that baby. And he has moved on with his life. He paid her $1 million off the rip and said, hey, go ahead about your business. She accepted the $1 million. And then she realized, oh shit, this was stupid. I want more bread. You already done signed the paper. She's taking him back to court to overturn the child support. Very, very crazy in my opinion. And so all that bullshit that Kenya was saying last segment, it don't amount to a hill of beans in this one because $1 million, hey fam, listen, you want a nigga to pay child support, he pays child support, now the child support ain't enough. What we doing here? This bitterness that we talked about, is this bitterness okay, Kenya? I'm trying to figure out, is this the side of the fence that you on? Please be on the right side of the history. Don't let this shit ride. You gotta stand up for a nigga at one point in your life. Once in your life, Kenya, stand up for the men.
I stand up for black men all the time, when it matters and when it's, warranted. It's just, y'all just make it so hard because you never
Yeah, see the baby did out some BS.
Mm-hmm. Stand up for it.
No, the baby's talking to y'all.
I just need you to, Kenya, I just need you to say this some bullshit. I just need you to say it. I need you to be on the right side of history because this woman is trying to make this nigga's life a living hell. A living hell.
Rashad, what are your opinions on when a woman gets pregnant, right? And I believe I think you said you're pro-choice, I think. And she decides to keep her pregnancy against the father's wishes. What are your thoughts on those types of situations?
I think that it should be a mutual decision. In the ideal world, depending on circumstances, this is an extreme circumstance and where this is clearly financial reasons. I think you have to take everything into account, whether it's health or all that type of shit. But for the most part, it should be a mutual decision. It shouldn't be just one person, saying, hey, I want a kid, and the other person saying no, because you end up with situations like this. So I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that if a woman just said, I'm having this baby no matter what. Because you put yourself in a situation and where a nigga can just say, fuck it. And then vice versa, right? Nigga be like, had a baby, and then the woman be like, I'm not in the space to have a child right now. I want a career. I want this or I want that. I think that it should be the same across the board.
Okay. Hold on. That was a bunch of bullshit.
How is that bullshit?
That was a bunch of bullshit, Rashad. Because you said, what do we do with that? And now what? Because typically they're not agreeing and they're not gonna agree. But once the pregnancy is kept because there's nothing, I feel like there's no way to look at it there's no way to look at it to where in any scenario the woman gets the abortion because you asked for it. And I say that to say only one person has to get an elective surgery. It is a surgery. Everybody has their own opinions on the effects or what it does to you mentally, or if it's a big deal or not, or if it matters. But because that is the case, and because it's so stigmatized, and because, I feel like I've just always heard women just fault on the point of, I don't believe in abortion, right? And she could be doing immoral things everywhere else in life, right? But then when it comes to that, she's going to say, I don't believe in abortion. And she's always granted that because how could you argue against her if that is her belief? So it's like, in the event that the sex happens, the ejaculation happens, it does what it does. If it's up to her to go and do the elective surgery to alleviate you for whatever reason, we just can never bank on that. So because we can never bank on that, how do we then look at his responsibility once the kid is here? Because I posit this question that if the Republicans had won and they were able to do a full-on abortion ban outright, what would y'all men do? And what would you say then?
I hate how we look at a woman being pregnant as a man thing. Because one, I done been around the world and it's rare that a woman ever said, hey, where them condoms at? I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. That's one. And two, there is such thing as plan B. Right? And so there's a lot of, like, there are options before being 9 months pregnant.
Yes,
and
but we're having the conversation. No, I get that, but let's go the word. It gets too
Rashad,
conflated
you
and too
sound
convoluted.
crazy expecting a girl to ask you to store
Started at
condoms.
pregnancy because that's what we're talking about. Pregnancy has occurred regardless of whatever you missed the window of the plan B. Woo, you didn't pull out in time. The condom broke. You just were being completely reckless. You didn't care. Whatever the reasoning was, we have to start now with pregnancy because this is the conversation and none of that matters in regards to the pregnancy existing because now we're here. So now that we're here.
Hold up, Katie. This nigga Rashad said the girl's supposed to. What? Your dad told you when you was 12, nigga. Bring the condom with you. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying, see, that's another way in where we look at women as children. At the end of the day, ladies, this is also your body as well. And so being intentional about the safety of your own body, being intentional about prevention of pregnancy within your own body should be priority. Hold on, wait.
Rashad, that's an irrelevant conversation because guess what? Half the time, if the guy is asking for the abortion, she is not also asking for it. Because if the girl wants the abortion, I promise you, he won't have to ask for shit. And he damn near might not even know. She's just gonna go and do that because that's what she wants to do. So in the conversation about the chick being pregnant and him asking for the abortion, the assumption is that she wants to keep her baby. So all of this talk about what to do so as not to get here is irrelevant if she wants to keep her kid.
At what cost?
No, it's not at what cost. The time for you to ask at what cost was before you nutted. That was your only time, and I'm sorry, but that was your only time.
I hear you, but you just said stop talking about that and talk about the pregnancy, right? So I'm just going by what you said.
Yes, so don't bring that up.
I'm just going by what you said. If we are here in the position that she is pregnant now, at what cost are you because we've seen instances in where it's just pure spite. This Ayesha Howard, Anthony Edwards situation is just...
You can't say that a woman is keeping her pregnancy out of spite. We just cannot say that. Because a woman does not want to go get sedated, put under for 30 minutes, get vacuumed in her coochie. You cannot say that she's not doing that out of spite. You cannot say that she's not doing that. Or taking a pill and going home and painfully miscarrying. You cannot say that she's not doing that out of spite.
And that's the issue.
Y'all are so bold.
Hold on, wait.
Bro.
I think that's the issue because we have
as niggas that just nut. Y'all are so bold.
I think that's the issue because in every conversation like this, we have to start from the place that every woman in the world has pure intentions. And that is the biggest crock of shit imaginable. And you stifle the conversation because we can't have honest conversation. You can't sit up here and say that no woman that has ever had a child did it out of spite. No woman that has ever had a child did it because she felt like it would keep the man around or control the man. That's bullshit. And so when we have these conversations, we have to be able to talk about both sides.
Out of spite. Do you hear yourself, Rashad? No woman that carried through with the pregnancy that's already started did it out of spite. That sounds crazy because we're in sick worlds and where the assumption is that she would kill it. That's crazy to
so
me.
like I said, every time we have these conversations, for some reason, we have to start from the standpoint that every woman is pure in her intentions. Every woman that's ever lived. Every
Because
woman
the
that's ever
purity of the
graced this
intention
earth
don't
is
got
pure in
shit
her
to do
intentions.
with the fetus
Jesus
gestating
Christ.
in her, Rashad.
It's just an unfair conversation if that's where we got to start. It's an unfair conversation if we got to start from there.
No, it's an unfair conversation if we start where y'all bust nuts. Let's start there.
Hold on, wait, you can't have it both ways.
She wouldn't have nothing to be spiteful with if you was watching your
hold on, wait,
correct?
you just said that we can't start from there.
No, you're forcing it. That's what you're trying to do. Because you're trying to talk about her intentions with the pregnancy once she's already pregnant. I'm telling you that narrative does not track, because in that narrative you have to assume that she will kill the baby.
No,
and you
that
can't
narrative,
do that.
I have to assume that people are people. So even if we're not even talking about this situation, even with every other situation, there was something on the timeline. We have the conversations of, well, if a man comes in there and he's a man and he leads and he does that, then a woman would just fall in place, as if there's no woman in the earth that cheats and that lies and that's sneaky and that hides and that, does stuff behind their nigga back. The only way that she can be a bad person or do foul shit is if the nigga is foul. And so every time we have these conversations, that's where we start, and that's bullshit.
No, Rashad.
That's bullshit.
No. This is such the unique situation that all of that could be true, but it's irrelevant to the larger point. That's what you're missing. And if that was really how you thought about it and how men thought about it en masse, then you just wouldn't bust nuts everywhere. Because if you're saying the women are keeping the babies out of spite, they wouldn't have anything to keep. The natural occurrence is that once the pregnancy occurs, it would go to term unless it naturally miscarried. So there's no assumption that she's going to go out of her way and take an Uber to an abortion clinic.
I think that your argument falls flat when we see the continued actions of Ayesha Howard. Your argument just falls flat when we continue to see her accept money, because it was always about the money. And then after she accepted the money, she realized she could get more money.
Before did she try to converse with the father of her kid?
Hold on, wait. They've already.
And then what did he say?
There's already been paperwork that's signed. You've already accepted the money. We're already here. And so not only are you doubling back 2-3 times, now you're citing fraud.
You keep talking about what she's doing. He's yet to even see the kid. You're not talking about that because you don't care about that. Okay then, and that's what she want to do. So he's doing what he want to do, and that's what she want to do. How one person wrong?
No. It's not about it's about.
That shit's sick.
We're past all of that. We have an agreement and we signed paperwork. And I've handled my end on this part as far as what we got going on in this relationship dealing with this kid. I didn't want the baby. You wanted the baby for whatever reason. Let's just say she had the purest intentions, even though she took little baby through the ringer for bullshit multiple times. But let's just say with this instance, her intentions were pure. She wanted love in the family. That's bullshit because she knew Anthony Edwards was in a relationship anyway. And I'm not excusing him for being in a relationship, but if you're saying that her intentions were pure and that she did this because she just foresaw them living happily ever after in a blended family with their kids under the same roof, that's bullshit, Kenny, and you know it. So we gotta stop with this. We should be able to say
what
that.
I'm saying is she could have been having the most debaucherous sex, knowing that it was wrong and it was sinful and it was disgusting. What I'm saying is that once she becomes pregnant, there's nothing within me and no logic that brings me to say that a woman could have a baby out of spite, because the natural occurrence is that she would have her baby. It is unnatural for anything else to happen unless a miscarriage happened. So it doesn't make sense to say that a woman could have a baby out of spite, because what does that mean? She's pregnant. She's pregnant.
It's been well documented.
She's gonna have a baby.
Hold on, we're gonna get to the hands, but it's been well documented of women saying that. Right, so for you to argue against that point, That also doesn't make sense.
No, but
Like, that doesn't make sense.
Because what I don't want to do is take the woman that say that, and then because you hear the woman that say that, you think it's okay to apply it to women, and it's not the case.
I'm not
because woman's
applying
nature
it.
is still woman's
I'm not
nature,
applying
and to
it.
give birth is still in a woman's nature.
No, I'm not applying it to all women. I'm saying that if we have these conversations, it is unfair to only look at one side. And so if we have, once again, like I said, if we have to, every time we have these conversations, start from the aspect that
it's wrong for her to be going back for more money, and it's wrong for him to say, I never want to see or care for my kid.
Yeah, but he said that 6 months ago. And we still going back in court. And so I would assume, I would assume
until the child is 18, we might keep going back. And what about it?
That's nasty. Go ahead, Rasheem, and then we got,
All right. So you look, the more we keep hearing about Ayesha Howard and Anthony Edwards, and I'm probably going to get dragged for this, but look, what Rashad is saying is there is some truth to that. Yeah, do women have babies for a come up? Do women have babies like, just for spite or whatever? That's possibly true. But someone should have been in Anthony Edwards' ear to let him know that, right? He was just frivolous out here, right? And on top of that, a few months before Ayesha Howard, he was in the same situation again. He told the other woman to get the abortion for the pregnancy that she was also having with his child too, right? She did it, and that's what it is. But that should have been the lesson. And like, dang, I can't be doing this again. And he did it again.
No, because he thought, because the first girl got the abortion, so he assumed the next would.
Right, exactly. So I have to look, at the end of the day, Anthony Edwards got horrible dick discipline. His pullout game is super weak. And I have to just say this, because the way I look at it too, again, I might get attacked for this. Let's just say they were in a relationship, or let's say they were married, which I know sounds crazy. Let's say they were married, right? And let's say the roles were reversed, right? Let's say Anthony Edwards had a career that wasn't an NBA career, and Ayesha was making millions, right? If whatever the divorce settlement is, right, I wouldn't say that Anthony Edwards is wrong for going to court for getting more money to help support his lifestyle of being a single father or whatever. I would actually applaud that. You know what I'm saying? I would say, look, if you out here struggling and you didn't make enough money and you help support this woman and all these things, and you're vying for more money, if she is getting all these deals or whatever, I'm going to say, hey man, go see what you can get. So I hate to say it, look, it's a possibility she's doing for spite, yes, but if she is a mom, right, which she has a right to do because we can't tell women what to do with their bodies, and she decided to keep this baby, and she's saying, hey, look, man, whatever y'all think, I know we agreed on this millions, but
what's so funny,
making more. Well, he's making more. He may. I can't tell her she's in the wrong. I can't tell her she's in the wrong. I'm sorry. Anthony Edwards
I just want to ask a serious question, and then we got you, and then we got Watcher.
No, the answer is never, nigga. You know what?
You act like you can read a goddamn mind. Okay, Miss Cleo. Listen, when can we treat women like adults?
Never.
Yeah, but you lost that.
Never. That's the answer. Because women are, because really, for all intents and purposes, women are not adults, Rashad. And that's the double speak that be going on, because in other conversations, y'all do like to act like they are, like they're children. They say women and children for a reason.
Because they're defenseless. Because they're defenseless. That's why.
Because there's an inherent power imbalance that exists, and because we're not the same as men. That's why.
But you don't have to be the same as a man to be treated like an adult human being. Go ahead, O.
Yes, finally. What is this debauchery I hear? You know what I mean? Like, this is just foolish. So one, coming from a realistic standpoint, and to piggyback off of Rasheem, I always stated, if you can't afford to take care of your child, give them to me, and I will not take you to court for child support, because I am a man. I am going to find a way, because I am a man. If you can't afford to take care of your child, give up custody. Period. That's what it boils down to. Give them to me. I can. I make twice as more than you. Give them to me. Secondly, Ayesha, we understand who this woman is. Call a spade a spade. When are women going to be held accountable for their bullshit? Right? She's along the lines of Dre. Both of them are predatory. Let's get it fucked up here. That woman is how old? How old is this
She
woman?
39 and he 24.
39. She's 15 years his senior. And you mean to tell me, and I said it time and time again on my good brother's space, these athletes don't mature until they're 30. They have the mind of a 15-year-old. I swear to God. You got to understand that Anthony Edwards has been given everything since he knew how to walk. This kid was a superstar from puberty. What we talking about here? He doesn't understand that point. So you being 15 years his senior should also know that by a simple conversation with this kid. You see in the interviews, he's like my nephew. My nephew is goddamn 10 years old. They talk the same. They talk exactly the same. I swear to God. You have to understand that we have to stop using children as pawns. This shit is nasty. And the karma that comes behind it. My God, because what does it say in the Bible about a child? It's the direct blessing from God himself. So you're going to use this blessing from God. And we're going to freeload this bitch. We're going to go to court numerous times. Because what happened was she blew through that million, probably. She bought a couple of cars. She bought a condo downtown Atlanta. She blew it. It ain't invested. She opened a little Roth IRA. I guarantee you she didn't. Because it's the type of person she is. Women need to start holding women accountable. Fuck that. Men, stop doing that shit, bro. This is a lose-lose battle. Women, if you're not willing to hold these women accountable, then fuck it. Let them run wild. Like hyenas. That's what they are. These women, they prey on these young kids, these babies. They're millionaires. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck with it. What's shorty name that took PJ Washington's baby mother? Same shit.
Brittany.
Brittany showed up at his game when he was 17 years old. Beat these bitches up. These bitches are predatory.
And then that's
What the fuck
why I
you
think
doing?
that it's unfair to not mention the predatory behavior. It's unfair to not mention that there were not good intentions from the onset. And so it was
I'm
very
not letting you know.
clear
I'm not
that
letting you
even
get the
continuing
no.
through
I'm just
there,
not letting you get the predatory off.
if,
That's
huh?
crazy. I'm not gonna let the
Kenya,
predatory get off.
Oh,
women
man.
can
Simply
We
be
can't
because
even have,
anytime in the
predatory.
I have to hear about how 24-year-old women or grown women that can do whatever they want. So please,
no, you
What
don't.
do you mean?
please
No,
What do you
nobody
mean?
says
don't
that.
do that right now.
Shannon
That's
Sharp
all
got,
I'm
Let's stay
saying.
on
Shannon Sharp
topic
got so
here,
much
Kenya.
backlash. Are you crazy? Even
No.
Even Jimmy Cassie got
Hold on.
backlash
Rashad,
for the age
I'm
stuff.
Rashad.
Are you
talking about
crazy?
y'all as men. I'm talking about y'all as men. Whenever the media or social media or the liberals or the women or the feminists, whoever decides to point out age gaps where the woman is over the age of 18, the men vehemently come out and say she's over 18, she's an adult, leave it alone, mind your business, you're a bitter old
Hey,
hag.
Kenya.
So I don't want to hear about
No,
predatory
there's
now.
Kenya.
two different
I
conversations
do
here.
not.
Hold
These
on.
are two
I think that there's
totally
two different
different
conversations.
conversations. For
But
one,
I've never been a proponent of
yeah,
niggas
I just now
dating.
told
I
you.
told the story on here about my homeboy, and I was like, that shit like weird, right? Because he about to be 40 and he like to
Hey,
date joints that's
Rashad.
like
Rashad,
25.
what I just now say about
So,
Anthony Edwards? What I call him? A baby at 24. That nigga's a baby. You don't know no better? That nigga dumb. Full of cum.
and it's the
No,
same
I've heard
thing,
of
and
that.
it's the same thing,
The fuck?
vice
That nigga's a
versa, and
moron.
where you are. So when it comes
I
to
don't
like
agree with that.
jail,
Y'all are
Or
like
Anthony
really
Edwards.
trite.
hold on. When it comes to jail, of course, they're 18, right? And so we have that conversation of you're above age and so a nigga ain't going to jail. But I think the majority of people who look at these situations and where there is an age gap, we look at it with a side eye. It's only the minority that says it's cool, but the majority say,
Yeah, ain't no fucking way.
this ain't that. And so it's unfair to use the minority to speak for the majority.
You're
Niggas don't champion that shit. Niggas don't say, yeah, fam, go get that
just
19-year-old.
you know,
Like, what?
I can't.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they're right. They're
man.
right.
Where the
Because Kenya thinks we're
20-year-old hoes at?
Kenya
Like,
thinks we're going along with the red pill logic, and they're right about that. But I will also just say this real quick, and then I know Watch gotta go. This is not it. The predatory argument will make sense if this is like Anthony Edwards' like first baby. It's not. This is like what his fifth,
Yes.
sixth, probably.
But what I
You know
just
what I'm
now
saying? So
tell
again,
you,
no,
like,
he doesn't
dude,
have 5 kids. He has
he
3
has
kids, I
3
think.
kids. Two,
okay,
what I just now tell you about his
all right,
maturity
bet.
level.
No, I
Two
agree
and
with
one
you, and I'm not
aborted.
saying you say that.
Two and one aborted. So three. So okay.
Three
So
and a
three
possible.
That
children.
was Always
in
right.
in an
Always right.
aborted one.
Listen,
No.
return the sender sometimes. Man,
Okay.
come on, man. I hate this. Hold on, hold on, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. We
Right.
gotta, can you,
Return the sender
Hey,
sometimes.
don't start
Rashad
right
be
now. You
crazy.
have to be
pushing
slow.
all
That's
that
really good.
pro-black shit, man.
Come on, man. Let Watcher get in it. Watcher, come on, man. What's the word?
Yeah, listen,
Do you kill it,
I
B?
have a little bit of a different perspective here. I don't necessarily think that this gentleman, Mr. Edwards, is in any way, shape, or form a victim, right? 24 is grown. You got to know. If you're scared, get a dog. Get off the court, my nigga. You on the court now. You playing with the adults. And she ran game on you. She definitely ran the jukes on you. She really definitely ran your pockets.
That's
She was
victimhood.
Hold on.
No.
She preyed on you. Let me finish it. She definitely preyed upon you, but you're not prey. Meaning that, like, if you didn't know better, if you didn't have enough toolage, enough training, if you didn't have enough coaching, if you didn't have enough people in your corner, if you didn't have enough wherewithal to keep yourself and your pocket safe, that's on you at this time. We're not cutting no tears for you now at 24. We cannot baby these young men no more than I would do the same thing for 24-year-old female who got game ran on her and got her pockets ran or whatever the case may be from somebody adult. We are adults now, so we're not going to treat y'all like children. That's my position on the matter. In addition, I'll say this right here, that I think we all should need to acknowledge that, and what's that famous joke that I think might have been Dave Chappelle said, like, listen, if it's your body, your choice, and you can kill the baby, well, at least I can abandon the child, right? Like, we need to get back to that joke and that understanding. And I am definitely pro-life, not pro-choice. I'm pro-life. But there needs to be something to say that if these ladies have the ability and right to go out there and put a baby on ice, then me saying, it's on you, you take care of it. Why? The question is, I'm having Rashad, why would you want to have a baby with a man that you know doesn't want the baby? What's the psychology behind that? What is the motive? If you have the ability and you are,
That's an insane question.
answer it then. Why
I
is it
think that
insane?
that's a valid
That's
question,
an
though.
insane
It's a valid
question.
question,
It's a
but
Hold on,
answer
wait.
it
Can you
though.
break it
Hold on, let
down
me
for us,
phrase it again,
Kenya?
Kenya.
actually like that
Without saying that
If
question.
that's
you,
insane. Can you break it
Because
down
hold on,
for
let me
us?
ask
because
you a
that
question, Kenya.
Rashad,
Kenya,
let me
if you
tell you why.
know,
Let me tell you why it's an insane question. And I'm telling y'all that, like, y'all are getting like the PG version, because really, if I really said what I wanted to say, bro, but
we're
I'm
not
not.
enemies. We're not
So
enemies.
we're not enemies, but you might be if you heard what I really thought. I swear to God. So let me get it together, please. Okay. This
Came
is
with the
what I
gloves.
will say, right? The woman, the conversation that we have and I remember it was a tweet that went super viral, and the girl was like, women should have babies because they just genuinely really want to be mothers, despite all else. That has to be your resounding reason to give birth, because life happens. And so if your ability to perform as a mother was only contingent upon having a husband, or only contingent upon having a boyfriend, or only contingent upon this or that, God forbid that fell through or that wasn't there anymore, you just need to want to be a mother. Because inherently, the care that you give to your child is solely between you and your kid. All else could fail. You still have to be a mother. And everyone heard that and attacked it and was like, you're promoting single motherhood and bitches don't want men. And it's just like, that's a sick way to look at it, because we're not giving any real thought to what motherhood actually is and what it means. And so to ask the question, why would you want to have your baby even if the man said, I don't want it? I think that that's crazy, right? Because there are multiple situations where men said that they wanted the pregnancy. They went on with it. He changed his mind. She had the baby anyway. He came back around. Like, if the kid's life is dependent upon a nigga's flippant feelings, upon a nigga's frugal and flippant feelings, if somebody's life is dependent upon a nigga's flippant and frugal and finicky feelings, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy, because niggas change their minds all the time. So in the event that he went ahead and said, yes, let's have this baby, and then he stopped fucking with you later and then said, fuck you and this baby, what should she do? Drop the baby off at the fire station? No, she has to keep being a mom. And so regardless of you wanting to be here or not, I still have to be a mother, because I'm a mother from the time I gave from the time I got pregnant. Now, not every woman might look at it like that, but I do. From the time you saw the test and it said pregnant, you were a mother. You're a mom. Now, whether you chose to end that and not be a mom no more, that is up to you, and that's a different conversation, but it's up to you. Because when you go to that clinic and when you have to sit for that therapy appointment before and take the ultrasound before they take you to the back and put you to sleep, they say, is anybody coercing you? Are you under duress? Are you under threat? Did anybody ask you to do this? And you have to answer. So if you up there, so guess what? If the bitch listened to y'all and said, yeah, I don't really want it, but the niggas told me to, she wouldn't get the abortion.
So let me ask you a question. What part of what Ayesha Curry is continually doing a part of being a mom? Because you just ran that off.
Irrelevant to her being a mom, Rashad. That's irrelevant. Her being a mom is about her being a mom to that baby when she wake up and be a mom.
No, but what you're saying, because the question from Watcher was, what would be the reasoning in a woman would do that? And that's when you ran off with what you just said. And the sticking point was, you're a mom as soon as you're pregnant. Understood. What part of this has to do with what you said? What part of her continuing to go to court? What part of her saying that this nigga is a fraud?
I already acquiesced and said that if it's just purely for money grabs, then yeah, that's nasty. I already said, and honestly, I don't even think it is. I think she's trying to fuck with the nigga because she really just want the kid she really wants the nigga to acknowledge the baby for real. That's really what it is. Now, her ways of going about it, or her antagonizing him in court, or her doing fuck shit, and we don't even know if it's gonna go through or if it's going to be given any credence. She could file whatever she filed till she blew in the face.
I think it's fair, and then we're going to get to the hands.
What I'm saying is, Rashad, the fact that we have to have conversations about what women are doing on the back end of abandoned children is crazy. You don't never put no topic in the space about a nigga abandoning his kid. But we always gotta hear about a woman cussing somebody out, or a woman getting child support, or a woman doing this. We never have to hear about the kid that don't got a dad.
No, we ran down on Anthony Edwards.
It's just Rich, what you choose to focus on. I swear to God.
We ran down on this nigga multiple times, Anthony Edwards. But I think that after a while, you get to see, especially doing what her history is with Lil Baby's situation. She don't have no car. She's, older than him as well. And she ain't got no car. Lil Baby done bought her a house. He got the kid in school, all kind of shit. And she running to the internet saying, this nigga ain't bought me no motherfucking car. He a sorry ass nigga, blah, 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 blah. Like, so we've seen her history in doing these things and
have
using
you heard
these
Ayesha
children.
Howard speak, Rashad? Like, have you ever heard her speak?
Yes.
Ayesha Howard is
like
delayed. She's slow. She's mentally challenged. And I say that earnestly. Ayesha Howard is slow.
That bitch slow as fuck.
She's slow. Rashad, I'm talking about a mentally challenged woman.
Listen, but I'm just saying we should be able to acknowledge those things. Yes, Anthony Edwards abandoning his kids, O got kids, I got kids, Rail got kids, Rasheem, I don't know if Watcher do. I think niggas up here understand the love that you have for your own children, and what he's doing is fuck shit, and it wouldn't be advisable, and I think it's wrong. And yes, nigga, you should have made the precautions to not bring this child in the world, especially after you didn't already had the social media debacle of send me the video when he was telling the girl to take the plan B. Of course, obviously. That is not something that is falling on deaf ears and niggas have not acknowledged before. Obviously. What we're saying is we have done that. We have done that. And so the continued aspect of this has nothing to do with child. This has nothing to do with anything besides I want to make your life hell. And I think that that's foul. That's all I'm saying. And it shouldn't be